I would like to invite Dr. Mudit Agarwal, who's a consultant ophthalmologist who has been a pioneer in working with methylene blue. Methylene blue is something which has invoked all our interests. I have been using methylene blue personally in my hospital and all the humidifiers and everything. And Mudit is the person who has brought forth this methylene blue revolution in Jabalpur. We are very thankful to him. So it's over to him. Mudit bhai.
Thank you, Amren bhai. Basically, this is not my innovation. It is the innovation of and pioneer work of Dr. Deepak Golwalkar sir from Bhavnagar, Gujarat. He has been using this methylene blue since many years now. And basically, the credit of making this drug famous in Jabalpur goes to dear Amrendra only. Whatever he does it in a boom manner. Very good, Amren, for that. My congratulations to you. Now, today I would be talking, as you all know, what is the role and rationale of methylene blue in COVID-19 patients. Hope I am audible.
Yes, आपकी आवाज आ रही है मुदत भाई. You are audible. You are audible. Perfect. We can see the screen also, full screen. Yeah, perfect.
So, what is methylene blue? Many people think as this upcoming new drug is, they think that it is some Ayurvedic drug or some churn or whatever. But going by Wikipedia, the most common thing that any person searches that this is a medication and a dye. So this is first a medication, then a dye, and this has been used since many years for cyanide poisoning and is also typically given into the vein. And it is also into the essential list of medicines by WHO. So this list by WHO is having the most efficacious, safe, and cost-effective. Somebody's mic is on. I would request all to please put off their mics. So this is the most efficacious, safe, and cost-effective medicine.
Abhijit ji, mic. एक second, just wait. Abhijit ji, आपका mic on है. Abhijit Vishnoi ji. एक सेकंड मोदी भाई. अभिजीत.
Yes, I am waiting.
Okay. आप स्टार्ट करिए. ऑफ कर दिया उन्होंने अपना माइक.
Yeah. So this is into the essential list of medicine in WHO, and it should be available in most of the emergency counters in every hospital. These 80 drugs, and also it has been used as the only antidote for cyanide poisoning, and it has been used by the mountaineers for altitude sickness. When the mountaineers go high in the mountain and where the oxygen saturation dips down, this methylene blue helps to gain the oxygen saturation, regain to the higher levels. Now this article was published in March 2020 by School of Medicine, Zhejiang University, China. This article clearly shows that COVID-19 virus was effectively inactivated in convalescent plasma before giving to another person as a plasma therapy. Another article published by Valeria Cagno et al. By University of Geneva, Switzerland in August 20 also establishes that methylene blue has a potent antiviral activity against SARS-CoV-2 in the absence of UV inactivation, activation in vitro. So how does it act? Basically, methylene blue has many more modalities of action. One of them is methylene blue inhibits the SARS-CoV-2 spike and angiotensin converting enzyme 2 receptor protein interaction. So methylene blue inhibits the attachment of virus into the ACE receptors, thus contributing to its antiviral activity. This I have taken from US National Library of Medicine. In US, a study is ongoing, a case control trial for the methylene blue treatment of COVID-19. Already phase 0, 1, and 2 have been passed, and now the trial is into the phase 3. That means up to phase 3, the results were promising. They are giving methylene blue to COVID-19 patients 100 mg BID for 5 consecutive days. The final results are yet to come in this study. This is the recent study done by Dr. Dario Shamedi Alamdari from University of Iran. And they studied around 223 hospitalized severe cases of COVID. This was a case control study. They divided it into two subgroups. Methylene blue receiving people were 106, while the other standard care patients who received were 117. And surprisingly, the result they found was that methylene blue receiving patients had significantly lessened or shortened duration of hospital admission as compared to the other group. Also, there was significant decrease in mortality in methylene blue group, that was around 12%, while in the other group it was around 22%, means just double. Another article from France, this is very interesting article. In fact, we all know that methylene blue is a part of anti-cancer therapy for many patients for many cancers, although it is not a main drug, but as a co-therapy in cancer. So in this study, retrospective study, 6,000 French people were enrolled. All these patients were cancer patients. Out of those 6,000 people, 2,500 people were receiving methylene blue as a part of their various cancer chemotherapy. And surprisingly, they found out that during last year, that European wave, none of the patients who were receiving methylene blue, that is 2,500 people, contracted COVID-19, while in the other group, that is 3,500 people, 70% of the people contracted COVID, and out of those, around 69 to 70 people again succumbed. So out of 3,500 people, around 1,700 people lost their lives, while other group receiving methylene blue, none of them lost the life. So this is an eye-opening study. So another mechanism of action of methylene blue is the chemical feature. It is having a virucidal effect. So methylene blue has a positive charge on it, and thus it has affinity for negatively charged mRNA of the virus. In other words, when methylene blue comes in contact with the RNA, it bombards the electrons to the RNA viruses and inactivates them. So it's not only it inactivates COVID-19 virus, methylene blue helps in deactivating all the mRNA viruses like West Nile virus also. Another mechanism of action is the alkalization. So methylene blue increases the intracellular pH of endosomes and lysosomes. And these endosomes and lysosomes are involved in getting the virus into the cells. So this methylene blue blocks these endosomes and lysosomes during their maturation stage, and thus it prevents the endocytosis of virus into the cells. So methylene blue is having the anti-inflammatory activity as well. We all know that during cytokine storm in COVID patients, the blood levels of pro-inflammatory markers like interleukins, TNF alpha, etc. are increased into the blood, which causes tissue and organ damage. So there is a inflammasome known as the NLRP3, which plays a central role in regulating the inflammation. Methylene blue inhibits this formation of or the association of NLRP3 protein complex. Thus, it downgrades the expression of IL alpha, IL-6, IL-10, etc. So this study confirms the role of methylene blue as an anti-inflammatory action. Another action of methylene blue is over on the nitric oxide. We know that nitric oxide levels are raised in COVID patients, and nitric oxide inhibits mitochondrial respiration by targeting cytochrome oxidase enzyme. And methylene blue has shown to inhibit nitric oxide formation by inhibiting nitric oxide synthase enzyme directly. This is an electron transport chain that occurs in the cytoplasm and at the mitochondria of the cells between these two, at the junction of two. So you can see the membrane, the downward part is the mitochondria, while the above part is the cytosol of the cytoplasm, where my marker is there. So for the cycle to run successfully, this NADH has to be oxidized to NAD in the mitochondria, and from the mitochondria this NAD goes out into the cytoplasm. From in the cytoplasm, this NAD helps the pyruvic acid or the pyruvate to convert into the acetyl coenzyme A with the help of pyruvate dehydrogenase. So in hypoxic conditions, when oxygen is not available, NADH is not able to get converted into NAD. So NAD is not available here. You can see my marker or the arrow. So what happens, this pyruvate is not able to convert into acetyl coenzyme A, and the reverse cycle starts. The reverse cycle is with the help of lactose dehydrogenase, or the LDH, the lactic acidosis forms. So we know that in COVID-19 patients, LDH levels is increased, and also there is lactic acidosis. So what is the role of methylene blue here? So in hypoxic condition, we know that NADH is not being converted into NAD. So when methylene blue goes into the this mitochondria, one molecule of methylene blue combines with two molecules of NADH and oxidizes into NAD, and itself get reduced. Methylene blue is now converted into leukomethylene blue, and this NAD is now freely available. It percolates outside the cytoplasm into the outside the mitochondria into the cytoplasm, and this helps in regulating the electron transport cycle. So methylene blue, in other words, restores the cellular energetic balance, which could be beneficial against hypoxic mediated energetic failure in COVID-19 patients. So in a nutshell, we have studied many mechanisms of action. So in a nutshell, I would again stress the important points only. First point, it inhibits the attachment of virus into the angiotensin receptors. Second, it inhibits the virus to able to get phagosome into the cells. Third point, it directly bombards the mRNA, thus blocking its replication. Fourth, it acts in the mitochondria and stabilizes its electrons transport chain, thus shifting metabolism towards the energetic metabolism. And seventh, it has also anti-inflammatory activity. So methylene blue, now who are the patients who should not receive methylene blue, or where it should be avoided? This is also very important. With any drug, we should first know the contraindications, then we should give the drug. So it should be avoided in G6PD deficient patients, although they can be given in inhalation, but if we are giving oral or IV methylene blue, it should be avoided. Methylene blue itself has an antidepressant action, so it should be avoided in patients receiving CNS drugs like SSRI, MAO inhibitors, and triptans. Obviously, pregnancy and breastfed mothers should avoid because there is no study, and infants less than 6 months also. In infants more than 6 months, there are ample amount of studies that indicate that methylene blue is safe. In Africa, methylene blue is primarily used till now also as a treatment of malaria in infants more than 6 months. So this article establishes that methylene blue is having anti-inflammatory activity, and it is a potent drug for neurodegenerative disorders such as Alzheimer's disease, as methylene blue is a serotonin analog. And how it should be given, we'll come to those points afterwards, but nebulizer, by the way of nebulizer, this is the best way to give this therapy. It should be not in the steam inhalation, because methylene blue will remain in the hot pan and the water will evaporate. It should be given by the cold mist or fog inhalation. 5 ml of 0.1% methylene blue solution to be taken over 15 minutes duration. This 15 minutes is a little cumbersome time, but for prophylaxis, this is what physicians who are using methylene blue are prescribing. By the way of inhalation, all our paranasal sinuses, respiratory tract are coated with methylene blue, and this is the best method for prophylaxis. Then we'll come to the dose calculation. We will not go into the detail how we calculated the dose, what dose the methylene blue has to be given. This is the study from the Academy of Military Sciences in China that has come to the conclusion that if a person is around 70 kg of body weight, the methylene blue given is around 5 mg or 0.5 ml if the solution is 0.1%. And similarly for 40 kg person, the amount is 3 mg. He is Dr. Deepak Gulwalkar, pioneer of methylene blue therapy in India, practices in Bhavnagar and is a senior pulmonologist. Did his MBBS from Indore. You can see that Dr. Deepak Gulwalkar is so confident in methylene blue that he's seeing daily around 70 to 80 COVID positive patients in his OPD chamber, and he and his staff is also not wearing the mask. Although I would not recommend anybody to do this mistake, but he has made himself a guinea pig, and when the COVID positive patient comes in his OPD, he explains the patient how to nebulize, and then patient goes out. And he claims that most of his patients have had not to be admitted in the hospitals who have started the therapy in early phase of the disease. So for prophylaxis, ideally 5 ml of 0.1% methylene blue has to be nebulized, preferably in a single time, or it could be divided in 2 doses also. And also 5 ml has to be of the 0.1% solution has to be taken once a day, empty stomach. Those who are exposed or are heavily exposed, both oral as well as nebulization are prescribed, but who are not exposed are sitting in their homes. Either of them is also good. So what is the dose in treatment has been used by most of the physicians who are using this methylene blue. For mild to moderate disease, 20 ml of 0.1% should be given twice a day for day 1 and day 2. And day 3 and day 4, the amount is reduced to 10 ml. And from day 5 onwards till day 9, some physicians are giving till day 14 also, 10 ml has to be taken orally once a day. The upper safe limit of methylene blue is 5 mg per kg of body weight. That comes out to be around 350 to 400 mg in a 65-70 kg weight person. So we are way below the safe limit. Also, nebulization has to be taken in as a treatment. Around 10 to 12 ml of methylene blue should be given in divided doses by nebulization. This is very important that intake of methylene blue should be started on day 1 of illness or as early as patient reports or patient comes, and should be continued till the patient recovers or at least 14 days. Most of the doctors have started using methylene blue as a prophylaxis also. So chances of getting them positive are now very less. For patients with high CT score or tumultuous respiratory episodes during the illness, the methylene blue nebulization should continue till 2 to 3 months, twice a day, for preventing post-COVID complication. I will come to that afterwards. Methylene blue has shown to be promising results in weaning of patients of oxygen post severe COVID episodes in the hospital. Also, this is very important, methylene blue is antifungal also. This is a very detailed article discussing about the antifungal action and how it is antifungal. So we will not go into that detail, but methylene blue has found to be antifungal also. Now we see that there are rampant rise of mucorale mycetes infection. Earlier we had seen this infection in our bread and fruits. And now it's taking vision and lives of the post-COVID patients and some positive patients as well. So this methylene blue should be used as a solution in humidifier, because it goes into the respiratory tracts of patients and coats them and possibly prevents the secondary infection, maybe viral, maybe bacterial or fungus. So 100 ml of 0.1% should be used. Many doctors, even our medical college, Jabalpur, Dr. Amren Pandey and his hospital, and other hospitals also have started using this. Lately, one news has come also that the Rajiv Gandhi Cancer Institute in South Delhi have also started using methylene blue for their cancer patients for prevention from COVID-19. Many companies are manufacturing now. It is freely available. One interesting thing: this methylene blue eye drops are available in Europe and America over the counter without prescription. That means the drug must be very safe. Therefore, it is available, and those eye drops are being used by patients of suspected patients of eye flu or the viral conjunctivitis in US. Also in UK, methylene blue is available as a skin cream for anti-aging skin cream, because it has shown to be mitochondrial targeting antioxidant and potent ROS scavenging activity in human skin fibroblast. So it is having a role in fibroblast and collagen. Therefore, it could have a role in post-COVID fibrosis. So this is an X-ray courtesy Dr. Deepak Golwalkar sir of a post-COVID patient. After he recovered, the patient reported to him, he started the methylene blue nebulization, and after few weeks, around 4 to 5 weeks, he took another X-ray, and you can see that most of the fibrosis is gone. Still some is remaining. So this could be very helpful for the recovery of post-COVID fibrosis. Now, in my experience, I would like to share that we have been using methylene blue since around 10 months, and we have used this therapy over ourselves, my patients, my relatives, our friends, our staff and the family. Around 80 to 90 people who turned COVID positive, including ourselves, have used this methylene blue. But the important thing is that we started using this therapy from the earliest symptoms, when the earliest symptoms arise, although many of our staff and many known ones were using as a prophylaxis also. So out of those people, around more than 80-85 people, only one had to be admitted in the hospital, and one patient was little type A personality type of person. He was little scared, so he got himself admitted. Otherwise, all other patients were recovered without the aid of oxygen in their home. Thank you all.
That was an excellent presentation by Dr. Mudit Agrawal. As you would have already realized, he is a master of his art and he has really made an excellent presentation. Mudit bhai, I would request that you share this presentation with us on our WhatsApp webinar, because so many doctors keep asking for the detailed presentation. And it was an exhaustive and excellent presentation. I would also like to point out here, Dr. Mudit was absolutely right. About 15 to 20 days ago, he made me use the methylene blue in the humidifiers of my hospital, and about 10 other hospitals also started using it. It may be the blessings of Mahakal Baba that we have not got a case of mucormycosis or black fungus yet. But along with the blessings, I would also say that maybe right now we are going to do a multi-dimensional and a multi-centric study as to what the role of methylene blue was. But in my experience till now, we can say that in our hospitals and most of the hospitals using methylene blue with the humidifiers, we haven't found those cases. Obviously, we are seeing the corticosteroid misuse part also, ki wo na ho, tapering of the corticosteroid, all of that is perfect. But till now, no case has occurred. Fingers crossed for aage ke liye, we are hopeful. So that is one of the things. Another thing which he touched upon was the IV use of methylene blue. So we've done that on about 8 to 10 patients in the ICU after taking consent from them, and we would be also publishing those results. So out of those 10 to 12 patients, most of the patients have benefited, and we were not able to do justice because we started the treatment late. As Dr. Mudek pointed out, it should be started as early as possible, whereas we use the methylene blue in a later stages where other things were not working. So that was not the ideal scenario to be using methylene blue. So thank you so much, Mudek. And